Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so let's start off with a very exciting piece of news from the XRP sphere. R3 has officially launched Corda Network with Corda Network Foundation, a new not-for-profit organization. The most awaited news about the enterprise blockchain software firm R3 confirms that the Corda network is up and running. The Corda network will be governed by an independent not-for-profit organization called the Corda Network Foundation. The news about R3's Corda settler going live was something that the XRP community and fans were waiting for with bated breath, and it has finally arrived. R3 announced the news in a press release on January 16th, and the new foundation will take over the governance and work encouraging the adoption of the Corda network. The press release stated, "The Foundation's board will be comprised of directors drawn from participants on the network and elected by members of Corda Network. It will operate independently of R3 and its decision-making will be transparent and available to all network members." The CEO further stated, "Participants will be able to build their systems to suit their exact needs and ensure the security of their data, while still benefiting from the advantages of a universal network." Sorry if my English is all over the place today. I had to deal with 3 different languages today and they all get mixed up in your head. Applications on Corda are seeing wide adoption throughout industries. Corda Network is the next step in bringing these networks together to make these applications even more efficient and effective. Corda Network allows settlements of funds and transfer of data between communities of nodes, which could be a collection of business networks and or private networks, which can be done via the core dApps. The transactions or data transfer can be set up within one's own organization or with trusted commercial partners while remaining interoperable with the wider Corda community. So this is interesting. You can essentially create smaller sub-communities within it, and it can be any kind of transfer. It can be within a company, within a country, internationally, which makes this a very interesting application. Corda has seen massive adoption as their partnerships include private and government-based companies and organizations. As per their official website, Corda has now partnered with almost 250 organizations worldwide, and some of these partnerships include companies like Amazon Web Services, which, if you didn't know, a lot of the internet nowadays is built on top of, Citibank, HSBC, Huawei, I never know how to pronounce that, Infosys, Capgemini, Intel, etc. XRP Center on Twitter commented, "R3 created 2 products. One is Corda Enterprise CE, permissioned blockchain for private enterprise use cases. 2 is Corda, open source DLT, distributed ledger technology, that can be used by devs to build decentralized apps, Corda apps. Corda Settler can settle payment obligations arising on Corda with XRP." So keep in mind here, Corda Settler, which uses XRP, is one of various apps running on top of Corda. He also cleared users' doubts with another comment which stated, "It means that, as of today, all the obligations arising on the Corda ecosystem could be settled with XRP if the participants chose to do so, as XRP is already integrated in the Corda settler. It doesn't necessarily mean that XRP is already being used." So why do we care about this? This is of course a large not a cryptocurrency project, a distributed ledger technology project that has a lot of partnerships already finally going live. But if you're looking from the perspective of any individual cryptocurrency, that is absolutely XRP here. Of course, R3 has been in a prolonged legal battle with Ripple that has recently been settled in a way that we do not have any information about what happened in the background. So XRP is the one cryptocurrency that is in a direct way integrated into their systems and is very much the one that the Corda settler is primarily meant to be used with at this time. That doesn't mean you have to use XRP with it. That doesn't mean XRP will be the only cryptocurrency you can use. It is just the most prevalent. So any adoption of Corda, and by extension Corda settler, is essentially good news for XRP. And if the markets were a bit more rational, we would probably see the price of XRP jump at least 10%. But as we have all recognized by now, the crypto markets are very immature, are not very rational, and we don't usually see immediate price movements over good news like this. Instead, I think this will lay even more of a foundation for XRP to see greatness in the future. There's new projects being launched almost every day, but this particular one has a lot of very well-regarded academics behind it. So let's take a quick look here at a project that is being declared better than Bitcoin. Researchers from 7 colleges across the United States are working together on a supposedly groundbreaking cryptocurrency project, which they say will offer scalability beyond anything that Bitcoin can offer. Let me just jump in here before we continue with the article. Comparing yourself to Bitcoin at this point is completely meaningless. When you bring a new product to the market, a new cryptocurrency to the crypto space, comparing yourself to Bitcoin and saying you're superior to Bitcoin is like releasing a new smartphone today and saying this is better than the first iPhone. You need to compare yourself to the best cryptocurrencies around, otherwise it doesn't really mean anything. But let's take a look at this article. Known as Unit E, the proposed cryptocurrency will purportedly have the capacity to rival Visa and MasterCard in terms of transactions processed per second. The participating professors include prominent researchers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known as MIT, UC Berkeley, Stanford University, Carnegie Mellon University, University of Southern California, and the University of Washington. These, of course, are all highly respected universities, especially in the tech field, and MIT is probably the single most important university in the tech and in the tech field. The researchers are working together under the banner of Distributed Technology Research, a non-profit foundation backed by Pantera Capital, very big name, keep that in mind, for the purpose of developing next-generation digital currencies to achieve wide adoption. Unit E should launch in the second half of 2019 with a stated goal of processing 10,000 transactions per second, which would put it out on its own as the network with the highest throughput ahead of Visa's 1,700 transactions per second and Bitcoin's 10 transactions per second. Important to keep in mind here that there are other cryptocurrencies who are either claiming they will get to at least 10,000 a second, or who have already proven that they can be faster than Visa's 1,700 per second. So naming Bitcoin as a comparison here, once again, rather meaningless, when there are various cryptocurrencies that are claiming they can do anything between 2 and 50,000. How much of that is proven is another story altogether. But once again, they have also not proven yet that Unit E can process 10,000 per second. That remains a claim. Explaining DTR's vision for the proposed cryptocurrency, DTR lead researcher and assistant professor of electrical and computer engineering at Carnegie Mellon University, Julia Fanti, I probably mispronounced that, very sorry, said, "In the 10 years since Bitcoin first emerged, blockchains have developed from a novel idea to a field of academic research. Our approach is to first understand fundamental limits on blockchain performance, then to develop solutions that operate as close to these limits as possible, with results that are provable within a rigorous theoretical framework." So essentially they're applying science. That is all they're saying here. With varied backgrounds in cryptography and computer science, the professors are all published researchers in the field of blockchain technology, and their idea for creating Unit E's promised scaling solution incorporates sharding and separate payment channel networks to aid transaction speed. In so doing, the team hopes that Unit E will deliver on their promise to substantially outperform any other payment network, including Bitcoin, in existence in terms of transaction security and speed. Adding his voice to the conversation in an interview with Bloomberg, Pantera Capital co-chief investment officer and DTR council member Joey Krug, who, if you remember, was just involved in another project, was it Beam? I forgot what he was involved in. But he was just involved in another one we talked about yesterday as well. He is involved in a whole lot of new alternative altcoins. The mainstream public is aware that existing cryptocurrency networks don't scale. We are on the cusp of something where if this doesn't scale relatively soon, it may be relegated to ideas that were nice but didn't work in practice. More like 3D printing than the internet. Once again, 3D printing is very much still a promising young technology that is being applied in a lot of fields, so I'm not sure about his argument here. The initiative becomes the latest in a series of moves within the cryptocurrency space to deal with the seemingly intractable problem of scalability and speed. One such notable attempt to solve this problem is the Lightning Network, which effectively acts as a second layer by creating channels between nodes, removing the need for every transaction to be recorded on the blockchain. So what we have here, okay, I think there are two sides of this. One is that a bunch of really well-respected and very intelligent and capable researchers are working together with backing by a major VC firm that invests in a lot of crypto projects, so with very good backing on a new crypto project. And it absolutely sounds like a promising project. They know what they're doing. They will definitely create something worthwhile here. But on the other hand, you have a very unfair and very deliberately misleading comparison here, where if you keep bringing up the comparison to Bitcoin, that means absolutely nothing, because Bitcoin is very much, we just had a study where Bitcoin was voted the worst technology, and out of all the currently prominent crypto projects. And that makes sense because Bitcoin was the first and everyone else has been able to build on Bitcoin and to improve on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin isn't in its #1 place because it has the best technology. So comparing your technology to Bitcoin is absolutely meaningless. You should be comparing yourself to platforms like EOS, like XRP, like any of these newer projects like Cardano that significantly outperform it on scalability, on speed, on efficiency. And when you compare to that, even the claim that they make here, the stated goal of processing 10,000 per second, that is a high number, but it is not unique within the crypto space, and they have yet to prove that they can do it. Now, until the second half of 2019, various major cryptocurrency projects are getting major tech upgrades where some of them might reach this point as well. So let's see what this will do. But if all it does is offer the scalability and speed that a lot of other crypto projects also seem to provide, and if it gets to the market later than these projects, I'm worried about which future outlook this might have. But let's wait, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. This seems to be a very strong team working on it. Let us briefly talk Grin. Now, we talked about Mimblewimble a lot in the last couple days on this channel. Mimblewimble, a privacy protocol that can be applied to various cryptocurrencies, but that now 2 first implementations have launched back to back. One of them is Beam and one of them is Grin. Beam launched first and Grin launched, I think, 2 days ago. And Grim is looking incredibly promising, more so with every passing day, and now we have even more reason to believe that this cryptocurrency might become rather big in the future. Grin, a new privacy-oriented cryptocurrency, has long drawn the interest of cypherpunks, but another group turned out in force to mine on the network that formally launched on Tuesday: investment firms. We have been watching the whole show today with maybe the most expensive Genesis block on in history. Wan, I probably mispronounced that, sorry, of Primitive Ventures told CoinDesk. CoinDesk contacted several investors who were also closely watching yesterday's launch of the privacy-focused cryptocurrency, which is being developed using the technology known as Mimblewimble. Wan's partner at Primitive, Eric Meltzer, wrote about the Grin launch in his Proof of Work newsletter this week, noting, "There is, by our conservative estimates, $100 million of mostly VC money invested into special purpose investment vehicles to mine Grin. This does a lot of weird things. It turns a bunch of people who would have been buyers of Grin into sellers of it, it changes the composition of the early holder roster, and it means the chain will launch with an extremely high degree of security via high proof of work hash rate." Chris Dannon of Iterative Capital, a fund with a strong focus on mining, saw similar levels of interest. Anecdotally, we know that a plurality of Chinese GPU farmers are already hashing on these 2 networks, which of course makes a lot of sense because a lot of them are not able to turn a profit mining Bitcoin right now. Dannon told CoinDesk in an email, Beam is the other network, Iterative is engaged in Grin mining, Dannon confirmed. "This is the thing that comes closest to Bitcoin," said a partner at a crypto investment firm who spoke on the condition of anonymity. "In a lot of investors' minds, it is kind of like pattern matches to Bitcoin 2.0. The investor, whose firm pooled up with a group of other Tier 1 investors to mine Grin, says a perfect storm is stoking demand for Grin. For starters, it's the technology many early adopters are excited about, and there's also excess GPU and data center capacity that miners are eager to point toward the Grin network. Once again, all this excess GPU and data center capacity is because a lot of people are not currently mining other cryptocurrencies, which have become unprofitable to mine in this recent market downturn." The investor highlighted potential downsides, however, pointing out that Grin is designed to be highly inflationary in its first few years, of course because these get continuously mined. Though it has invested in the ecosystem, Primitive Ventures tells CoinDesk it is not mining Grin. Wan said the economics just don't look right yet. This is a point that Josh Matnick, a mining entrepreneur, confirmed to CoinDesk. "I would argue that it's already over-mined." Matnick's company, Random Crypto, is investing heavily in mining proof-of-work coins, with the thesis that a bear market is the right time to get into this business. That said, he's also made it something of a personal mention to make the assessment of mining's profitability more transparent, releasing a new mining return calculator to the public just late last year. Nevertheless, there's been a lot of interest in the Grin platform. Blockchain services startup BlockCypher, which has been a proponent of Mimblewimble implementations for some time, confirmed as much to CoinDesk. "There is significant investor interest," CEO Catherine Nicholson wrote in an email. And that is pretty much all we need right now. So the takeaway here is that a lot of people, a lot of big investors are heavily interested in Grin, are pushing a lot of resources into mining Grin. They want to get in early, they want to get a large part of that market, and they expect to make a lot of money here. I think that should give you a signal that this coin is likely to have a good future, at least in the coming months and years, where it seems to really be doing much better than Beam just in its first couple of weeks. Beam infamously ran into a massive security issue in their wallet just days after it was released. They fixed that issue very quickly and in a very admirable way, but that still harmed their public image, while Grin is just going out of the door and is just doing well from the beginning. Like it says here, people are estimating that 100 million of VC funding is already going into it. And that is just VC funding, that is not all the other money that is flowing into it. Of course, always do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, but I think Grin is one to watch. And once it becomes more easily available, of course it needs to actually make it to exchanges, I think this is probably a good coin to look into for long-term holding, because there's just so much interest. And even with its inflationary production, that will slow down over time. And all of these mine coins are very inflationary in the beginning and then become less inflationary with time. Now, we do briefly have to talk about Bitmain yet again, because they are closing yet another one of their ventures. Cryptocurrency mining giant Bitmain Technologies has opted to reduce its operations in the Netherlands, the company said in a statement on January 14th. Bitmain, which in November announced the first in what has become a series of cost-saving measures by shutting down a blockchain development center in Israel, said the move was part of its longer-term roadmap. The company has reportedly suffered as a result of decreased profitability of Bitcoin mining in recent months. As we build a long-term and sustainable and scalable business, we are making adjustments to our staff and operations. This includes the decision to close our Amsterdam and Israel offices, the statement reads, adding, "We are really focusing on things that are core to our mission and not things that are auxiliary." Bitmain has not responded to Cointelegraph's request for further comment by press time. As reported, the decision to leave Israel accompanies rumors Bitmain was planning much larger staff layoffs, which could amount to over half its 2,500-strong workforce. The company has yet to confirm any rumors, while other sources have said its plans to conduct an initial public offering are also in trouble due to regulatory uncertainty. A reported senior executive reshuffle is meanwhile seeing co-CEOs Jihan Wu and Mikri Zhan Ketuan, probably also mispronounced, moved to co-chair positions, with Director of Product Engineering Wang Haishao, probably also mispronounced, once again very sorry, purportedly set to fill the vacancy. Last week saw Bitmain further scale back its ambitious mining operations at a site in Texas, which had previously seen promises of $500 million investments in the local economy. So I think we do, it would be so easy to ignore this, but we do have to talk about this briefly, because this is the real state of the crypto market right now. Companies are scaling back, closing down, firing a bunch of people, getting rid of entire departments left and right, and Bitmain is probably the single worst hit out of the major players here, because they seem to have completely mismanaged their company. They seem to have not at all hedged against potential issues with mining profitability. And this is sadly the state of the crypto industry in an extended bear market. And a lot of this is preventable, but we still need to consider that this is happening. But I don't want to dwell on this any longer than I have to, and we do also have good news coming out of other large firms, and I want to end the video with one of those. Huobi just hired a compliance chief from a massive global bank. Huobi, the third largest cryptocurrency exchange by monthly trading volume, has hired a senior professional from a major US-based global bank. Revealed exclusively to CoinDesk, Elaine Sun-Ye-Lin, I probably mispronounced that, former head of compliance for the Chinese branch of State Street, joined the Singapore-based exchange as a compliance director last month. According to a Huobi spokesperson, Sun will direct Huobi's compliance efforts globally. As regulators in different countries are paying ever closer attention at crypto, Huobi hopes to benefit from Sun's expertise in working with government bodies around the world, the company said. "We are happy to welcome Elaine into the Huobi family. Her expertise in compliance and the traditional financial markets will definitely be an asset to the company as we look to ensure our compliance and work with regulatory bodies," Fu Liting, HR director of Huobi Group, said through a spokesperson. Sun worked at State Street for more than 6 years and earlier worked at a Singapore-based OCBC bank in the Shanghai city office, according to her LinkedIn profile. So this is the latest example of a major crypto exchange and major crypto firms hiring very high up, very experienced and very valuable talent from major banks and major traditional finance firms. Especially compliance-wise, a lot of great people have been hired by exchanges and by cryptocurrency projects. And this is all a very good sign for the future. These people know exactly how to deal with compliance bodies, with regulatory bodies. They know exactly what to do to really smooth the path to mainstream adoption and to more institutional money flowing into the crypto world. And this is all part of the crypto world growing up. They are hiring top talent from the traditional finance world to really take our entire space forward. And I think that is wonderful. I think this is the latest example of that. You might wonder, why do we care? But this is all adding up, and this all adds up in helping our space get through the next couple of years smoothly. And with this, I'm going to end this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. All the links are linked in the description, as well as my social media pages and ways to support the channel. If you like my content, if you find enjoyment in my daily videos, I would very much appreciate if you could just leave a like, leave a comment, and maybe share my videos with your friends every now and then. Especially in this extended bear market, it is very hard for a crypto channel to be discovered on YouTube and to grow. And I would really appreciate it if you guys could help me in those small ways that just take a couple seconds. If I get more of an audience, I can put more time and effort into making content for this channel, and ultimately all of us benefit from that. So that would be much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video tomorrow.